Hey guys, this is the Mind of Lilith. Thank you for joining me today as I share my thoughts on the first episode of Season 4 of Love and Marriage Huntsville. In this particular discussion, I'm going to take a deep dive into some of Martell's comments pertaining to the fact that he believes that him and Melody should both be considered the bad guy because they both cheated in their marriage and they both cheated equally. So Martell said he doesn't want to be the bad guy anymore, especially since Melody cheated too. What narcissists like to do is create false equivalencies, and what they do is they'll abuse you, and then when you respond to their abuse, they will use that to justify their abuse in the first place. What they'll say is, the reason why I abused you is because of the way you reacted and responded to my abuse. So they use your reaction in response to their abuse that's been for years, months, weeks, whatever unwarranted abuse they have been dishing out to you. Your reaction and response to it is a justification for them to continue to do it. And it was a justification for them to do it in the first place because I knew you had it in you. There's a reason why I treated you like this. I knew you had the potential to be a vicious, cruel, evil person because you reacted to my abuse in the way that was harmful to me, that hurt my feelings. That's how narcissists operate. And I'm really sick of hearing that justification. I'm really sick of hearing men with their double standards and their BS, because what men are saying is, I can do whatever I want to you because my feelings are more valuable than yours. You're supposed to just suck it up. You're supposed to just deal with it. So I can cheat on you 200 times, but if you do it one time, we are just the same. I can't see you the same way no more. It is the end. They can cheat on you 200 times and beg for you to come back to them 200 times. But if you cheat on them one time and you beg for forgiveness, they say, hell no. I can't see you the same way because my feelings are 200 times more important than yours. And this is what men do all of the time, especially in the Black community. So I'm going to do a quantitative analysis of the cheating between Martell and Melody. And this quantitative analysis is based on qualitative data, i.e. interviews, the show, social media posts, conversations, etc. This is largely speculation because I don't know the specific numbers. I'm just taking an estimate based on, again, interviews that they've done, the show itself, social media posts, etc. And this is a little bit tongue-in-cheek. It's not supposed to be exact. I'm just, having a little bit of fun here. But this is also to teach us all a lesson on how to be objective about the things that we experience. Because a lot of times, narcissists will use our emotions against us. They will guilt us into doing things and staying in situations based on how we feel or how they make us feel, instead of looking at the cold, hard data and the facts. So let's look at the cold, hard facts here. So if you take a look at your screen, you will see a table of marital infidelity. And this table of infidelity will be used to compare several metrics when it comes to Martell and Melody's affairs in their marriage. We're going to look at the hours of conversation between the partners and their side pieces. We'll look at sexual encounters, not dates, not conversations, not, walks in the park, just sex. We'll look at the money that was spent on these affairs between Martell and Melody. We'll look at the pregnancies that resulted as a result of these affairs, and we will look at the duration of time that these affairs took place, because Martell again wants to compare himself to Melody and say just as, equal to. Two means there's a comparison of equal value. So we're going to make sure that things are actually equal to validate Martell's claims, and if they're not, we have the right to call him a gaslighter, a liar, and a narcissist. Okay, so before I get started with this table, there is a asterisk next to the pregnancies metric, because when Martell did an interview with Dr. Heavenly in 2020, I believe, he alluded to the fact that Melody had an abortion because she didn't know who the father of their kid was, because at this time, she disclosed to him that when she left for the 3-week period, she had dated someone else and was potentially intimate with him. What Martell did not tell Dr. Heavenly is that Melody did not have an abortion before 2017, 2018. She had her abortion in April of 2020, which she shared with everybody. And she had this abortion because she learned that Martell had no intention of maintaining his vows. He had no intention of stopping his affair with Ariane. He had no intention to be the man that she expected him to be. He just wanted to cheat better. And Melody had just had her fourth child 3 months earlier. They were in the middle of a pandemic. Melody got pregnant by accident. She did not think that it was a good time to have a baby, and she realized that Martell was not going to be her husband any longer. So Martell tried to obfuscate the timelines in order to make Melody seem like she was out here in the streets busting it wide open, like his mistress was getting pregnant 3 times by a married man. No, Melody got pregnant for the 5th time 3 months after she had Sugar Mama, aka Melody. Martell started his affair when Melody was pregnant with their 3rd child. Okay? So, now that we got that cleared up, hours of conversation. How many hours did Martell speak to Ariane over the course of the 5-year period? We're only going to focus on 5 years because that's how long the affair lasted while Martell was married to Ariane. How many hours? I'm going to average it out. These are not exact numbers. I'm going to say 200 hours per year over the 5-year period. That's less than an hour a day. Okay? Now, the reason why I gave it that number was because there were some times that Martell said that he did not speak to the mistress. So I'm averaging it out to about an hour, less than an hour a day over the course of the 5-year period. So that's about 1,000 hours of talking time. Again, when Melody found out about the affair, she said Martell was talking to Ariane all day, every day. So there were a significant amount of hours that they were speaking to each other. But again, because of the time that they took a break, I decided to average it out and say about 200 hours per year over the course of 5 years. So now Melody. How many hours did Melody talk to her side boo in the 3 weeks that she left the marital home? Melody was at this time running 2 businesses, and Martell admitted that she didn't have any time to speak to him. So I doubt that she would have a lot of time to speak to a side piece while taking care of 3 kids and running 2 businesses independently because her husband was too busy running around town with another woman. So I would say 20 hours in total over the course of the 3-week period that she was dating this guy. So what's the cheating quotient? The cheating quotient is Martell's hours or duration or frequency of events divided by Melody's frequency of events. Okay, so sexual encounters. That means sexual activity. That's it. I'm not talking about dates. I'm not talking about conversations. I'm not talking about anything but sexual encounters. Again, I'm going to lowball it for Martell and say, let's say 40 times a year. 40 times a year. Now, again, Martell was seeing this girl almost every day, but there were periods of time where they did not see each other and they may not have been intimate every time they saw each other. So I'm going to lowball it and say 40 times a year times 5 years. That's 200 sexual encounters that Martell had with his mistress outside of his marriage over the course of a 5-year period. Melody. Now, let's give Melody a boost. Let's say Melody was more sexually active than Martell with 2 businesses and 3 kids. Let's say Melody was active with her partner 2 times a week over 3 weeks. That's 6 encounters. So she had 6 sexual encounters with her partner. Like I said, these are not exact numbers. So don't come at me in the comment section saying, oh, it was 1 time. Listen. There's a method to my madness here. So just bear with me for a little bit, okay? Let's say she has 6 sexual encounters over the course of 3 weeks and Martell had 200 encounters over the course of 5 years. 200 divided by 6, that is about 38 times more encounters. It's not an exact number because I'm rounding it up. 38 times more encounters, and Martell spoke to his mistress 50 times more hours than Melody did. So Melody would have to speak to her side boo for 1,000 hours or for 980 more hours than she did in order to be equal to Martell. So Martell spoke to his side piece 980 hours more than Melody spoke to her side boo. Martell had, let me calculate this correctly, 200 minus 6, 194 more sexual encounters than Melody did with her side piece. Money spent. So I don't have an exact number for this, but based on Ariane's interviews and conversations, she said that Martell at one time gave her $5,000. That was the most he gave her at one time. We also know that he, put some money down to BMW. He was helping to pay her bills. So we're going to say over a 5-year period, let's lowball it, right? It's $5,000 a year. He spent about $25,000 of Melody's money on this mistress. Melody, in 3 weeks period, I don't think she spent any money on this guy. Why would she do that? Melody does not seem to be a type that would jump from one broke man to the next. And in 3 weeks, that is not enough time for any woman to be giving any money to any man for anything. So Martell spent at minimum $25,000 more on his side piece than Melody did on her man. Pregnancies. Again, I gave you guys a disclaimer in the beginning when Martell tried to allude to the fact that she got pregnant. Melody got pregnant while she was cheating. That was not the case. She got pregnant for the 5th time during the pandemic after she found out Martell had no intention of doing right. So she had an abortion to terminate the pregnancy and to terminate the marriage. Okay. Ariane admitted that she got pregnant 3 times in the 5 years. So Martell got his mistress pregnant 3 times more than Melody got pregnant by her side pieces, her side dudes. And it's hard to, with 0, it's like, okay, how many more times than 0 is 3? That's kind of an infinite number. We would have said, well, how many more times than 1 is 3? That we would say about 300%, right? That's a different conversation. So there's no 1, it's just 0. So Martell got his mistress pregnant 3 times and Melody got pregnant by her side dudes 0 times. Now let's talk about duration. How long did these affairs last? Martell's affair lasted 5 years. This is a commonly known fact. Everybody admits this. Melody admits this. Ariane admits this. Martell admits this. Melody's affair lasted 3 weeks. That is 0.06 years. So you compare 5 years with 0.06. There's no comparison there, is there? Right? Martell cheated for longer. He had more pregnancies. He spent more money. He had more sexual encounters. He spent more time, energy, and resources in his affair than Melody did with her little fling she had on the side. And to make matters worse, like I said, Melody cheated after Martell cheated. So for Martell to say she cheated too, we're both the bad guy, things are equal here, it's absurd to me. So based on adding up all of these offenses, right? Now this is just tongue in cheek. I would never do a real analysis like this in real life, but I'm just playing with you guys here. But at the same time, we can learn from this mock lesson as well. I added up all of Martell's cheating offenses and it equaled to 26,700 cheating offenses, and Melody's was 29 cheating offenses. So 26,700 is not equal to 29 Martell. It is only equal in the mind of a narcissist, because narcissists think that they're supposed to do whatever the hell they want to do to you for however long they want to do it. And if you were ever to clap back at them, they would use that to play victim and justify further abusing you when they didn't need a reason to do so in the first place. So as soon as you react to them, I think it's called reactionary abuse, right? As soon as you strike back and lash out and say, I can't take this no more, and I'm going to do me now. As soon as you do that, they feel like, oh my God, the world is crumbling. I'm ready to end it all. I'm suicidal. I can't take this. This is too much for me. Never mind how I'm abusing somebody else. As soon as my victim, gives me the same energy that I've been giving them, it's the end of the world. I'm being silenced. I don't think I should be the bad guy, right? As soon as somebody not even responds in kind, as soon as a person actually even expresses displeasure at what they're doing, they get offended. The fact that Melody was unhappy about Martell cheating was as offensive to him as Melody cheating or being with somebody else. Martell was just as offended about Melody telling his business as he was about Melody going to be with somebody for a couple of weeks. Because again, It's about image. He wanted Melody to protect him while he did not protect her. But at the same time, now he's saying we could have worked it out. Why would you want to work it out with a woman who wasn't satisfying you? Why would you want to work it out with a woman who you said will be nothing without you? Why would you want to work it out with a woman who you said you don't regret cheating on? You said you would do nothing different. Why would you want to work it out? Work what out? How does that look to Melody? Because, you know, like most narcissists, Martell doesn't care about Melody's feelings at all. She's just an object for him. She's just an object for him. For him to have 26,000 offenses against her compared to her 29, and for him to think that they're equal now, they're on the same page, right? And her 29 offenses was only in reaction in response to what he had done to her. For him to say we're equal now, I'm not going to be the only bad guy, and for him to delusionally try to spin this narrative along with his bird brain narcissistic mistress, who also wants to play victim after she's offended Melody, after she's called Melody on the phone, spent Melody's money, bragged to Melody about her man eating her out, all this stuff that she had done to attack Melody. Once Melody puts out a song about her experiences, oh my God, I'm ready to end it all. Once Melody is on and popping on her own reality show that she started with her own ingenuity and her creativity and her ambition, once she sees Melody on TV, she's ready to end it all. Somebody sent me a link on IG, and it was about, you know, Ariane saying that she was happy or whatever. It was something about Ariane in happy spirits or something like that. I guess her and Martell pieced it up. I didn't watch the video. I'm not watching this bird brain anymore. I'm not watching any more content. I'm not doing it. Her energy and her spirit is so nasty. I feel sick watching her. But like I said, she was full of crap. Funky Dineva also pointed it out. She was full of crap. Not to say that people who are suicidal and depressed can't put on the front and pretend to be happy and so on. But if you're at the point of suicide and ready to end it all, you don't just bounce back a couple days later and act like everything is peachy keen because your man is back in the house. You don't do that. I have been depressed before, severely. You don't do that. And I feel like I have the right to say whether or not somebody else is faking or phony or not, because I've actually experienced severe depression for a long period of time. Not suicidal, but severe depression to the point where you don't want to talk to anybody. You don't exist. You don't exist. That's real depression. Not you on Instagram talking about I'm ready to end it all. Like that's attention seeking for the most part. Okay, men who are depressed, if you're really depressed, you're in your own world. Nothing and nobody else exists but the pain that you are in. And you may get up and go to work and take care of your responsibilities, but you're like an automaton. You're a zombie. You're not posting IG videos or you're not doing none of that. You just want attention and clout. That's why, you know, I think Ariane made a comment toward Tisha about, the fact that Marceau basically went on a phone conversation that's live with the mistress he's been sleeping with for 3 years. Not surprised about that, but why are you clapping at Tisha because she addressed you somewhat? What beef do you have with Tisha? You just want to be on the show like every freaking body else who wants to suck on Melody's tit and then act like they fucking hate her. This is why Melody does not want anybody around her. It's the same MO. I'ma hate on you, but then I want to use your platform to get on. Like, are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious? You can't be. Now, I'm going to address Tisha real quick and Marceau. And I'm going to get into that some more next week. Tisha has been complaining to Marceau for a couple of years that she feels disconnected from him. She feels distant. She feels like she's becoming more insecure about the cheating rumors that's going around because those cheating rumors are correlating with his emotional distance towards her. The cheating rumors are, have been swirling around before the show even started. And Melody alluded to it. Martell alluded to it. There are people online, showing receipts or whatever. Ariane's alluded to it. Like a lot of people have said that Marceau has been cheating. So one would think that with all this smoke going around, all of this chaos and confusion and mistrust going around, that Marceau would be doing more or making more of an effort to prove to his wife that he really wants to be with her, that he would do something to assuage some of her concerns. But instead, he decides to take a trip thousands of miles away to Africa on a whole different continent where no one can get in contact with him. That was his words. Nobody can reach my phone. I need an escape. So Marceau needs an escape from his wife in the middle of them having this, painful, stressful situation where she is now suspicious of him cheating. So while your wife is suspicious of you being a cheater, you're going to leave her and go to a whole new continent that you've never visited before. You're not saying, let's make these new memories together. You're saying, I got to get away from everything, including you, because you are the source of my problem. If somebody tells you that they got to get away from you too, then more than likely they feel like you are a stressor or you contribute to the stress in their life. Now, Marceau is always talking about, oh, I don't want to be materialistic. I don't want to work for the money, just the money. I want to just have a greater sense of purpose in life. But at the same time, he has 2 luxury vehicles in front of his teeny tiny townhouse that he's forced his wife to live in. At the same time, he is building a huge manor that nobody asked him to build because he was trying to compete with the Holts. So Marceau's cars look like they're worth more than his house. And what's interesting is I think Marceau said that the house was Tisha's in a way, right? So the house is a reflection on Tisha's role in society or place in society or her place in Marceau's life. And the 2 cars are a reflection of Marceau's place in society and his place in the marriage. Marceau wanted to be represented by a luxury car and a sports car and a bachelor's car with a 2-seater that his wife can't even drive. That's how he wants to be represented in the world. But when people see Tisha's house, they're going to see that that's the way that she is represented in the world. Or that's how much her husband values her. It sounds materialistic and weird, but Martell got this little matchbox house for his wife while having 2 luxury cars. Because when he goes out without his wedding ring, he wants to be attractive to other people. He wants those cars to represent his status in society, not as a married man, but as a hot boy, as a bachelor. Those are bachelor cars, right? But the house that he has Tisha's in is like, that's a throwaway. That's something that, I got because it was affordable and, the kids could be here and I would have more money to spend on things that I want while telling Tisha that this house is all hers. This is for you, girl. This little house is for you. Your little makeup and your bags, that's what you're worth. And I saw her makeup collection and her bag collection. I'm like, what? She doesn't even have her own closet like that. She doesn't have a walk-in closet like Melody had. She has a teeny tiny closet. Yo, I was like, wow. Now, I'm not saying be materialistic and only be with a man for money. But if a man is spending more on his cars than he is his home that his wife and children live in, then that's a huge red flag for me. Those cars are status symbols for me. And the kind of car that he has, that's a status symbol for a single man, especially a man who doesn't wear his wedding ring, who goes on vacations by himself, who tells his wife he needs a break from her, and who's low-key, psychologically, subconsciously punishing her for trapping him in marriage. That's what it feels like to me. And a lot of men do this. I'm not saying I'm correct. And, I can understand spouses needing space and time from each other, but not during times of crisis and duress based on external factors. Like, I could see if Tisha and Marceau were arguing all the time and she was, abusing him like Martell was doing Melody. If Melody wanted to take a vacation from Martell and go to Africa, I would completely understand. Right? I would understand she needs to get away from him. But Marceau is telling Tisha, oh, it's not you. It's just the stresses of the world. So why wouldn't you want to create new memories with your wife, who has been begging you for attention and love and affection over the past couple of years, who has been, hearing rumors of you cheating. And now you're going on a whole new continent with limited phone access to rewind and recoup. But you're spending more money than Tisha is. How are you going to create a situation where you take on these responsibilities by choice? You force Tisha in the house so that she can't see you cheating out and running the streets. You force her into that situation and you try to blame her, or you try to say, I got to get away from it all because the financial pressures are so stressful. But these are stresses that you've volunteered to take on because Tisha has 2 master's degrees. And I'm sure she could bring money to the table so that you don't have to work so hard. But you choose to work as hard as you do because you want Tisha in the house. And then you use that as an excuse to run away from your wife to go on vacations by yourself. So you're living like a single man, basically. You're living like a single guy. Tisha was complaining since season 1, I barely see you. I barely see you. It's the kids and then that's it. I see you for dinner maybe once and you go to bed and that's it. As a matter of fact, Melody said that he was in the bar at 4 a.m. So you're in the bar you're living like a single guy. I don't know why Tisha doesn't see this, but I will be highly offended if my husband said that he needed to get away from me and I know I'm not the source of his problems. Especially in a time of crisis in our marriage or a time where there's like some conflict and, there's questions of infidelity. Wouldn't you want to try to remedy that by going on vacation with your wife, to bond with her, to show that you want to be with her while, Wanda watches the kids for a week? You can't do that. You got to go across the Atlantic Ocean to a whole different continent to be away from your wife and family, to get away from it all. Why am I a part of the all that you need to get away from if I'm not a part of the conflict or the reason why you need to get away in the first place? If I'm not the reason you need to get away, why am I lumped into that category with the rest of the stuff you need to get away from? Why are you treating me like I'm your enemy or like I'm the problem in your life? And I mentioned this before on my other channel. A lot of men resent women who manipulate them into marriage. Marceau was not ready to get married. Absolutely not. He was not ready to get married. He doesn't wear his wedding ring. He got married because Tisha got pregnant. And in the South, that's kind of taboo, especially back in the 90s and 80s and 70s, or even early 2000s. There's still a lot of traditional cultures in the South that, hold on to those principles of getting married before you have a baby. Absolutely. That happens a lot. But these dudes, I was warned when I was visiting the South, do not date anybody down here. All of them are married, but they all say they're not. That's what I was told personally. So I know for sure that these dudes lie. And I'm not surprised if Marceau's cheating. Like, he's been married for 15 years, 16 years, I think, something like that. The reason why he has smoke for Louis, because Louis can see right through him, just like Maurice can see right through him. And like I said, a couple of weeks ago, the reason why Marceau put that picture up on Instagram was to deflect from what he was doing, the dirt he was doing. He threw his brother under the bus so that the conversation would be steered toward why did Maurice lie instead of why was Marceau there in the first place? Why is Marceau lying? What is he lying about? Because Ariane was saying that Marceau was cheating too, and he was with a linebacker as well. And I also said in that commentary that Maurice is the guy that has all the secrets. He's the nice guy that women come to for support and a shoulder to cry on while their man is cheating. That's why Maurice said there are lots of things that I know that I could talk. I know there's lots of things that he knows that he's not talking about. I could see it in his bug eyes. That bug-eyed, I'm surprised look. That, I don't know. Oh my God, that's so awful look. There's a reason why he's down with them in Atlanta. Okay? I don't care if that's your brother or not. I don't see him hanging out with Micah in Atlanta. It's him and Marceau. 2 bosom buddies, 2 partners in crime. Him, Marceau, and Martell. I didn't see Micah. Micah's the guy I was married. He seems like a nice looking dude as far as like he feels like a sweet person from what I saw. So he wouldn't be hanging out with them in that capacity. I could be wrong. Now I'm not talking about Mark. I'm talking about Micah. Micah seems like a nicer guy. You can't have a family full of assholes. Somebody has to be nice. Somebody has to be genuine and a good person to some extent. He seems to be one of the nicer brothers. I didn't see Micah down there. I saw a narcissistic cheater. I saw a person who doesn't wear their wedding ring. And I saw somebody who had a sketchy past with his ex-wife. and 2 other men. That's what I saw. They were all thick as thieves. And if you're going to help your man cheat, more than likely you're cheating too. If you're going to help your man cheat, if you're going to help your guy friend cheat, more than likely you're okay with it and you're cheating on him too. I'm surprised that wasn't brought up in the reunion, that Marceau was paying the bills for Martell, mistress. Martell would give Marceau money and he would use that to pay his mistress. So I don't trust anything that he's saying. Tisha, it is what it is. Like, she wants to believe him because she wants to stay married. That's what it is. As soon as Tisha wants to find out the truth, she will. As soon as she gets tired of it, she'll find out what she needs to know. But if she wants to stay married, she's going to believe everything she says, because the truth will force her to make some tough decisions. And some women will choose to stay married regardless. She can, say what she wants, but I would... No. I would not condone my man going to a whole new continent to make new memories without me, and we're married. We don't have to go everywhere together, but you're going to a whole new continent and you've never been there before, a whole different country, away from your kids, and I can't come with you and we're supposed to be married and going through all this stuff? Wow. It's obvious he's cheating. Obvious. But it's not my marriage, and so it is what it is. I'm going to end it there. I look forward to reading your comments. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll speak to you soon.